Boosh, boosh.
Listen to Abe Thompson for an hour. I'd rather fuck a blood relative.
And we are live, I believe. I hope this is working. This is the first time I've streamed live on TikTok and YouTube at the same time. So what's up, TikTok? What's up, YouTube? It is Saturday night. It's 7:30. Hello to you goddamn wonders. You fucking dreams. You beautiful little podcasty bastards. I should have done a Friday night show last night, but god damn, is it difficult to get guests on right now, guys. Everyone is out with their friends and their colleagues, catching up before Christmas, before they blow their whole November salary on presents and, heating. Realistically, is what they're going to blow their money on, I think. Everyone's grabbing a couple of work beers with their mates before their new energy tariffs and the new taxes come in. It's very much last orders on the Titanic atmosphere in the UK right now. If you're listening to this from outside of the UK, that is the general societal atmosphere. It's like, do you want to get smashed on Friday? Because once they repossess my home and the rents all skyrocket, I might not be seeing you as much after I've moved in Bognor. That is where I'm headed. That is where me and my family are headed. When it all hits the fan and we can't afford a house, but we also get, priced out of the rents everywhere within the M25. When the chickens come home to roost, we're going to end up in fucking Bognor. Or, Yarmouth, I think. Some other god-awful shit pit. That is probably where we're headed. I mean, just a rundown shit town of vacant houses and, to-let signs and then, there'd be, empty shops with boarded up things, when you go to a shit town and there's empty shops, but then they board them up with fucking painted pictures of what the shop is supposed to be, if it was ever actually rented by anyone. Like no one wants to open a shop here, so here's a painting of a shop. That is the best we could do. You're like, I wanted to buy a new pair of jeans. They're like, well, here's a picture of a guy selling some jeans. Is that, will that do? Just a succession of those, run-down fake shops, boarded up shop fronts. It's like the high street's a Hollywood movie set, Like that sort of vibe. The only signs of life in this town, this fictional town that we're going to move to, are going to be, 5 teenagers doing spice in a shop doorway. It's going to be like that kind of vibe. That's where we're headed, I think. Anyway, in some ways I'm glad. It's, it's good. It's amazing, in fact. I can't wait. I always wanted to live by the sea, so that's good. Feeling that. Most people do it when they're 70. Most people move to the sea when they're 70. So in that respect, I suppose I'll be, way ahead of my time. Maybe for the first time in my life. So fucking go me, right? But that's cool. I'm feeling the ocean view of wherever the fuck it is that we end up. This rundown seaside town that used to have a glory day in, the 1950s before the air revolution happened. And then people started taking their holidays in Greece and Spain, and these seaside towns slowly just declined. That's where I'm headed, guys. But as I say, I'm excited about it because here's the thing, right? When you come from the shires, as I do, when you come from the home counties, when you live next door to people of a certain socio-economic standing, it can play games with your self-esteem. That's one thing about living in relatively nice towns, is it can kind of fuck with your self-worth. It's a sort of, you know, keeping up with the Joneses sort of vibe, isn't it? You know, if your kid's friend's dad is the director of finance for a fucking like national leisure company or something, like he's doing well, it kind of makes you feel shit about yourself. You're like, oh, you know, I don't have a BMW. But I'm assuming that if we move to Skegness, you know, if things go bad, they repossess the house and we can't afford the rents anywhere in the M25, and we end up fucking careering off into Skegness or Bognor, I might fuck around and end up being king of that town. So there is that. Like, would you rather be the brokest shit in Notting Hill or the king of Skegness? I mean, those are the options. And I'm just saying maybe there might be an upside to me moving to one of these slightly shittier towns. Anyway, so, guys, if it's your first time listening, welcome to A. Thompson and Other Disappointments. This is episode 128. And as I've said, it's been a bit harder of late to get guests on. But I got some more names lined up for the coming weeks, so that's good. I'm pretty excited about that. Also, I've been working on the Funk-27 website, which I have to say, feeling pretty good about that also. It looks sick as fuck at the moment. It's not live yet, but it's like I'm working on it and I can see how good it's looking. So I'm pretty psyched about getting that out. Also, I've been taking some time out to talk with Super Tansky and Danny fucking Price, if you're familiar with him. He does a lot of political content on Instagram. And if you follow me but you don't follow him, then go and check him out, definitely, if indeed you are on Instagram. Been talking to the two of them about this gig that we're going to do in February. And that's going to be fucking sick fun, man. It's going to, we've just confirmed our first, guest or, act for that. It's a guy, he's been on TV, he's done some sort of political stuff. And so, yeah, I don't know, long and short, it is all, it's all very exciting. And I guess it goes without saying, but if you want to hear first about all of that sort of stuff, if you have enjoyed the podcast, if you want to get exclusive invites to the live stuff, the meetups and this sort of giggy kind of shit, then do jump on the Patreon. It's patreon.com/Aid Thompson with an IN on the end. And it's not just, live meetups and gigs and shit. It is, you can join our Discord chat. You get access to that where we talk shit about Tories all day, and then you get episodes of the podcast 2 days ahead of schedule, 2 days ahead of everyone else. You get named and shamed at the end of these episodes, credited, if you will. Oh yeah, and then there's this new thing, right? So so there's 3 tiers. There's the £3 a month one, which is just like a doff of the cap. Then there's £5 a month one, which is, you get access to pretty much everything. And then there's a £10 a month one where I'm going to do a £10 a month, premium tier thing where I will jump on a Skype call with the £10 a month Patreons who if they want to, they can jump on and then talk about life, love, and the universe with me. That is also there if you should so wish to. I'm not going to force you to do it, I force my dad to jump on a Skype with me once a week, and I'm not sure he's really into it. So, seems a bit cheeky asking you for a tenner a month and putting you through that shit. Anyway, what is going on, guys? Let's jump into the news, shall we? So obviously the big story at the moment is the Hunt budget. The Hunt autumn statement. That was the other day, right? That was Thursday, I think. And that sort of, what did that do to you guys, dear listeners? Did that put your mind at ease, or did it just, cement everyone's fucking fears to a greater or lesser extent? I think to a greater degree. It's kind of propelled us into a different place, hasn't it? In a way, it's sort of, I'm talking about it like cementing our fears. But in a way, it's kind of nice, right? It's kind of like, hear me out on this, right? It's nice to be sitting outside of the baseless boosterism for a change, isn't it? It's nice to take a break from the sunlit uplands, the rainbow gold, you know, the unicornism of Brexit. You know, it's nice to find out that your local A&E is closing, that your grand's hip replacement is cancelled, and those 30 free hours of childcare that you are so reliant on are probably about to get canned. It's nice in a way, isn't it? It's refreshing. I mean, we just spent the last 7 years saying we would rather have the truth told to us than, this ridiculous fantasy that shit like Brexit was amazing, or we could send the virus packing in 12 weeks. Just tell us facts. Just give us the truth, for fuck's sake. Like, can we have some substance? And it's a bit like, well, now we have it. Now we have £120 billion a year on British debt interest. Not even the debt, just the interest of British debt. Now we have that, and we have slashed bare public services. I'm like, well, at least we're engaging with reality, I guess. That has to be a net positive in some respect, right? At least we're engaging with reality here. Maybe this is the point that people go, fuck it, put me back in the Matrix. This this is too much. I don't need this. I was kidding when I said I didn't like fantasy politics. Frankly, I can see an upside now. Just tell me the fairy tale. This is too awful. I don't know, man. A lot of people are going to suddenly beg to be put back into the boosterism coma in the next 12 months, aren't they? A lot of people are going to miss that period of having baseless optimism. And in a way, they are kind of already like asking to be put back into the boosterism coma, I think. Like, there's already people on the news, in Vox Pops and TikToks and shit, already saying stuff like, I miss Boris. I miss Boris. It was he was so positive. They miss his optimism. That's the thing. They miss his enthusiasm, the fun, the positivity that he brought to the table. And, make of that what you will, right? Like some of you listening to this will be saying, yeah, I miss him too. I miss him too. What a card he was. What a fun, japing, positive force he was in British politics. I miss having that positivity, you might be thinking. While others out there, others of you, perhaps those that didn't suffer from some sort of cognitive event in the womb, some of you might be thinking, like me, well, he might have been positive, but in wanting him back, what you're saying is this: I can't deal with reality. That is kind of what you're saying. Like, I want someone who baselessly bangs on, who baselessly bangs that positivity drum with zero substance, just witless optimism at every turn, frothing away while stood on eggshell foundations, just banging that positivity drum constantly while just tiptoeing on eggshell foundations that eventually gave way and landed us where we are today. Whoopee. That is what you're saying. I miss Boris. That is basically saying I can't deal with reality, which is fine. Lots of us can't deal with reality, but why don't you do what the rest of us do and open a drink? Speaking of which, I've left my beers in the kitchen. Fuck. Let's continue. Anyway, so, where was I? Hunt. Hunt and his autumn statement. So he's hiked taxes, and he's going to slash public services, right? Oh, I should have mentioned it, by the way, in the intro. We're going to do some Q&A shit in a bit. If there's anyone on the live thing, and if there's anyone, like on YouTube, live stream, if there's anyone on the TikTok, what's up? We'll do a Q&A once I've found my footing here. Once I've polluted your ear holes with sufficient rantery. Where was I? Right, so, Hunt, autumn statement. Raising taxes, slashing public services. I mean, I don't know why they think there's anything left to slash. I don't know why they think there's anything left to cut in public services, in like austerity 2.0. You know? Like, we already had austerity 1. Like, what the fuck is there for the sequel? Do you know what I mean? What is there left? I mean, is this going to be like every other sequel? You know? Where they have to, like, amp it up to get everyone, you know, G'd up for it. Do you know what I mean? Like you remember with American Pie? Right. American Pie was a good movie. Good comedy movie. Who doesn't like American Pie? It's fine. But then, like, everything in American Pie 2 that came from American Pie, like, it was all just, I don't know, it's a bit shitter, you know? Because they amped it up too much. You know? Like, Kevin is more annoying and emo. And, you know, Oz in the second one is just a cliche. He's a bit too, like, oversensitive. Like, I'm a sensitive guy, but he's a bit, like, you know, caricature level. And then Stifler, they just, you know, exaggerated him way too much. It's just, you know, like, the first movie was fun. Because it's like, you know, these 4 guys are all virgins. And they all really, really want to lose their virginities. And, you know, here's all the silly capers that they get up to try and make that happen. And then they all get laid. And that's it. The credits roll, and we all go home, right? Great. Who doesn't like American Pie? Great movie. But then American Pie 2, you know, by the end of it, we're all like, okay, come on, guys. Like, you jumped the shark here, fellas. Come on. Like, now it's not, you know, now it's not teen anxiety and, you know, virginal shame and, you know, now it's just like the sex stuff. Now it's just like amped up shit. Now it's like fucking lesbians with dildos and, like, you know, and going to hospital because you super glued your hands to your penis. It's like, anyway, you get the idea, right? American Pie 1, fine. Then the sequel comes on. They have to amp everything up to get people back into it because everyone knows that the sequel's never as good as the original, right? So is Austerity 2 going to be like that? Just to bring this dragging, kicking and screaming back to politics? Otherwise, I will nosedive into popular culture for the rest of this episode. So help me God. Is Austerity 2 going to be like that? You know, are they going to jack it up to 10? You know, like Austerity 1 was the main event, guys. You know, Austerity 1 was, you know, they just massacred public services. They killed walk-in centres. They binned tens of thousands of police. They forced new contracts onto junior doctors. They slashed funding. They shuttered A&E departments. That is classic austerity. Real golden era stuff. But what is there left? What is there left to slash away at, you know? Like, for the sequel, what is there? You know, like in the first one, they took police officers and they diluted them. That was their way that they did that. Nobody wants to see a headline of, like, you know, Tories get rid of 50,000 police officers. So what they did is they did what they could. They got rid of, what was it, 10,000 or 20,000? But then what they did, they got clever. They got sneaky. They took police officers and they diluted them to community support officers, which, look, I don't know if you know this or not, but, you know, I mean, they're essentially mannequins. They are, you know, they're not actual police guys. I'm sorry if you needed to know that earlier, if you got into some sort of tangle with them, but they're not real police. If a community support officer stops you and asks you what you're doing, you can literally look them in the eye, ignore them, turn 90 degrees, and exit the conversation. You can do that. Excuse me, do you mind if I ask you what you're doing here? Bye. Like, that's all it takes with a community support officer. It is easier to leave a conversation with a community support officer than it is with some of my friends and relatives. It would truly... It's like, where are you going, Ed? Where are you going? Oh, I'm bored. I need to go. I need to leave this conversation. No, hang on a second. Give me a fucking chance. I was in the middle of a story. Oh, God. All right, fine. Sit down and listen to the rest of their god-awful fucking shit story. Meanwhile, with a community support officer, I'm not enjoying this interaction. I will bid you farewell, officer. Anyway, back to austerity. Right, so they didn't want to slash police away too much. So they created these guys that look and sound like police, but who aren't police. Okay? Mannequins. Which is, I'm laughing about it, but there's downsides to it also, imagine, you're laying there in a pool of your own blood. You're like, hey, officer, I'm being stabbed in the throat right now. Is there any chance you could arrest this fucking wide-eyed crackhead before he leaves my children fatherless? The officer, in inverted commas, might look back at you and go, man, you know what? I would love to. I would love to. But, even if I wanted to, which I don't, because they pay me about the same as a fucking office junior, it's hardly danger money, what I'm earning to be your community support officer. They pay me less than a bouncer, honestly. How about that shit? They literally pay me. They literally pay people. They're tasking to keep the streets, plural. They pay those people who have to keep the streets safe less than a fucking bouncer who has to man a door. So you imagine this community support officer, you're laying there in your own blood getting stabbed by a crackhead. Can you help me? He's like, even if I wanted to, which I don't, because they don't pay me right, but even if I wanted to, legally I have all the power of a fucking librarian. So, is he making a noise? Well, no, actually, he's quite a quiet stabber. He's being quite respectful in the noise department. Just, not the personal safety department. Oh, right. Okay. Well, give me a shout if he starts disturbing the neighbor. That is the community support officer. Anyway, they slashed that shit back to a laughable level already. So, what else are they going to do for austerity too? They'll expand the whole fucking, community support officers thing to what, fucking community support sergeants? How far could this go? Community support Met commissioners? Maybe? I'd love to hold crooked politicians to account, but, I'm just a support Met commissioner. I would love to prosecute crooked politicians, but my hands are tied. That actually sounds about right, doesn't it? So that was the police, right, in Austerity 1. They diluted that thing. But then they did the same shit with education too, right? You used to go to school and there would be teachers. Do you remember that? I hate to sound like such a fucking, old bastard here. But that was how it used to be. In my day. And then classic gold austerity happened. And they were like, how can we dilute teachers into a sort of, community support teacher kind of thing? How do we tick most of the boxes of this respected role? How do we tick most of the boxes? How do we dress someone up like a fucking mannequin so they look like a teacher, except pay them less? How do we pay these fuckers less? That is what it all comes down to, whether it's police or teachers or whatever. So then they brought in the community support officers of the teaching industry, right? But they didn't call them community support officers, obviously. They called them TAs, teaching assistants. They look like a teacher. They sound like a teacher. They mark your work and bollock you like a teacher. The only thing that is different is they're not so qualified and you pay them less. Boom. So, police diluted, education diluted, health, they would have created a community support health assistant thing there too, instead of a doctor or a nurse, right? They would have done that if it weren't for the legalities, right? And the prerequisite 7 years of training or whatever, you know? So back to the wall, gun to head, they couldn't do that shit. So instead, they were like, well, we'll just pay them less, you know? Well, you can't do that. You can't just reduce the amount, you know, the salary. There's laws against. Oh, okay. Well, what if we just slowly cut back on the number of nurses and doctors per ward, and we'll make them all work harder and longer hours? Like, that's what they did. They were like, we can't dilute it like we did with police and teachers, but what we can do is basically dilute it still. So, anyway, look, all of this is to say they've already cut back on public services. They've already slashed the number of hospitals. They've already slashed the number of fire engines. They already sold off your fucking, you know, social care home down the road to a property developer donor. Your school's already got, you know, by this stage, they've already got, like, your teachers are writing to the parents to say, could you chip in for a few books? Can you help us with some bog roll? Can you do, like... And now it's got even worse, obviously, with the cost of living. You know? Now there's, like, teachers phoning in to, like, radio phone-in shows. You know, saying, like, well, you know what? Once our heating bill goes up, we may actually have to close every Friday. Like, how fucking nutty is that? They might have to close every Friday. I heard a call from a teacher actually phone into like LBC and say like that is, you know, maybe on the cards. Every Friday. School shut. You're just saddled with your kids, you know? You just got to sit there and entertain them while you should be working or some shit. Like for a government so opposed to work from home and a 4-day working week, they seem bizarrely keen on ensuring half the fucking population remote in every Friday. Like when the school close on a Friday and say like, yeah, here's your kids, you're gonna have to look after them all day, I'm gonna be like, well, I guess I'm working from home. I'll log in when I can. Yeah, cheers. But yeah, anyway, like the American Pie, like the sequel thing, right? Austerity 1 was bad. Now, Austerity 2 is going to be amped the fuck up. You know? Take that shit up to DEFCON 2, guys. I don't know how they're going to do it, though. I mean, like, are they going to have teaching assistants, you know, run the whole school by themselves? You know, like no teachers now. Are they going to try and, you know, market this as some sort of, you know, big society nonsense? Like if schools just shutter, if they just half the number of schools and you can't fit your kid into the local school anymore, which let's not rule anything out, you know, we're talking about a lot of debt here, a lot of savings that have to be made. If they shutter your school, is it going to come out as more big society nonsense? Is it going to be like, you know, you have people like Jacob Rees-Mogg on the morning news rounds defending this sort of, you know, reprehensible state of the public sector. But they'll be like, well, you know, actually, I think it's rather nice. It's rather inspiring having these what do you call them? They're called education banks, Mr. Mogg. Like, it started with food banks. And then they were talking about heating banks, weren't they? Do you remember, like, when the cost of living and, like, the energy bills was first kicking off and everyone was terrified, and they still are, right? Then it was, like, heating banks, where, like, the idea was, like, people who can't afford their fucking heating bills are going to have to go to some community or, like, you know, church-run room that has the heating on and just fucking sit there just to stay warm, to not freeze to death like they're Jack at the end of The Shining. Because we live in a Charles Dickens novel now, apparently. So it was food banks, then they were talking about heating banks, and now it's going to be education banks. I can just see it. You know, schools are going to be like, you know, too broke to open. So you're going to have parish function rooms in the back of a local church. They're going to be like, yep, you know, in you come, Mr. Thompson. You know, you can leave your children here. That's fine. You know, we'll teach them the basics. You know, no algebra, no long division, or, you know, programming or anything like that. You know, I'm sorry, but we'll teach them the basics. I'll be like, you know, you can't teach them algebra, really? And this gaudy guy will just be like, well, you know, we've only got a few hours every week that we can. And I'll just be like, right, okay. I mean, you found time to teach them about the Old Testament, though, didn't you? You daft cunt. Like, I can just fucking see it now. Education banks. But that is what is going to end up happening. And it's going to be such a cruel, crushing irony for the Thompson household. I can promise you. Because, like, I went to Catholic school. I had to just sit there and listen to that shit every day. A fucking Lord's Prayer, a lunchtime prayer, a home time prayer, hearing about how we're all born sinful and, you know, the guilt and the fucking angry God and repent and all that shit. And I was like, I'm not putting my kids through that. So now what a crushing irony that I've worked my arse off to secure a comfortable income for my family in the tech world. And yet, it'll all be for nothing as my finances implode and I'm forced to push my kids involuntarily back into their own hellish religious upbringing. What a cruel, crushing irony for the Thompson family. And the church will love this, by the way. That has to be said. They will fucking love this shit. They have like a room full of, you know, impressionable young boys and girls taking it all in, drinking in that indoctrination, forced to listen to these outdated ideas and parables and, you know. That's what it is, right? It's indoctrination dressed as charity. It's like, yeah, bring your kids in. Yeah, it's fine. Sure, bring them in. We'll take good care of them and teach them the basics in our sweet, sweet-hearted education bank. And you'll be like, oh, these people are really nice. They're doing such a good thing for the community. And then, you know, your kid comes out 5 years later, like, Dad, I want to be a priest. Like, no, you don't. No, I do, Dad. I do. You know, you put me into the education bank and I was raised by priests and nuns and taught about God and the Ten Commandments. And it's all very inspiring. And, you know, I've been conditioned by that educational experience and, you know, or by that cult. You know, some people call it a cult, but I don't. I call it a religion. I call it my calling. You know, I've been conditioned by it to think of it as a, you know, it's all part of a master plan. And, you know, now I would like to play my part as a conduit for that plan. I want to be a priest, Dad. And I'd be like, I would actually rather you had told me you want to be a paedophile. I don't know, is that weird? I don't know. Maybe that's a bit dark. I don't know. So yeah, look, education banks will no doubt be a thing. So there's that to look forward to. Stick with me as I spread my joy unto the world on this podcast. You know, it's funny though, like when I started this podcast, it used to be sort of loosely themed around dystopia. Right? Like it used to be kind of like, you know, a dystopia fantasy novel sort of thing. Like, wouldn't it be funny if this happened? You know? Wouldn't it be funny if shit got this dark? And now the country's fucking, you know, teetering on the edge. And there are no doubt conversations going on in Whitehall right now. You know, talking about budget cuts and savings and slashing funds and shit. There's conversations going on in Whitehall right now where they're like, could we get away with staffing schools with volunteer violent offenders? Could we? Like, we have to think smart about this, guys. We can't afford to keep the violent offenders in prison, and we can't afford teachers. Is there some way this crisis could fix that crisis? Think smart, guys. There are those conversations happening right now. I can almost guarantee it. And like, shit's gone so bad so quickly that I swear to God, like this show used to be dystopia, right? Dystopia fantasy, you know. What if this happened? Or, you know, what if that took place in some distant decade when robots take everyone's jobs and, you know, people only fuck cyborgs? You know, it used to be dystopia. Now it's a fucking documentary. this podcast. Now it is current affairs. Now it's like, wouldn't it be terrible if this... Oh, no, it's actually happening right now. Great. Anyway, back to the budget. Let's try and stay on point for once. So here's what gets me about the autumn statement, right? We're just going to do a little bit more, and then I'm going to jump onto the Q&A stuff on TikTok. If my battery fucking lasts, I'm going down to about 10%. So I might, well, I'll see. Hey, TikTok, what's going on? Let's try and get through this without my phone dying. If my phone does die, if I suddenly go dead, guys, you can jump on YouTube. I'm also streaming on there. Right, so the budget. So here's what gets me about this autumn statement. Here's what riles me. So they're trying to find between 10 and 30 billion in savings. And those of us that have been, you know, sort of drinking in the news for our sins will remember that Truss and Kwarteng announced an uncosted budget, and it spooked the markets, and then people started, fire sailing bonds, and then the Bank of England stepped in and bought up loads of those bonds to stop them tanking in value. And, right, here's the thing. People are like, yeah, but then she resigned, you know? She's gone. And yes, that was chaos and, you know, it was a lot of tumult in the markets. But then Hunt came in, steadied the ship, and it's fine now. Everything should be fine now, is the sort of attitude I sometimes get in comment sections. And it is infuriating to hear that shit, isn't it? Or maybe it's not to you. Maybe that's where you're coming from, like you're listening to this. But for me, it is infuriating. Like this idea that Hunt came in and steadied the markets, which he did, right? So credit to him, fine. But this idea then that everything's back to how it was before the mini budget now is fucking fantasy. Like, it is not. We are in a different world now. That little bout of witless tomfuckery horse-fucked Britain standing. Like, our interest payments on our national debt. Our national credit rating. Like, S&P, right, Standard & Poor's is a ratings agency. And they almost immediately put us onto negative outlook. Everyone's like, yeah, this is the best budget ever. Within 24 hours, it's like, whoa, what the fuck's going on? Like we're now paying, off the back of that budget, we're now paying £120 billion a year in interest on our national debt. It costs more to borrow now than it did before. And when we pay that money back, it costs us more in the interest. And all of that money has to come from somewhere, man. So if you don't have growth, which, you know, we don't because recession, where are you going to find that extra 10 or 20 billion if you don't have that growth? You're going to have to unplug some shit. You're going to have to cancel a few operations. You're going to have to shut a few schools every Friday. You're going to have to hire a few more community support officers, right? So really we need to get past this idea that everything is fine or even close to, you know, back to normal. It is objectively not. Second thing, before I forget it. Lots of people on my timeline and comment section saying stuff along the lines of, "What's up, Aid? Love your content. And your haircut is lush," which it is. I'm normally on board with most things you say, but with this, Aid, thing is, it's lockdown, it's furlough. We have to pay for this stuff. You can't just shut down the UK and not pay for it later. I read that stuff and I'm like, okay. So, I think it was the OBS, the Office of Budget Responsibility. Oh, sorry, OBR even. Or was it the IFS? Institute of Financial something? Or LSE? Or so, I don't know. Some three-letter acronym of people who are way smarter than me and who can probably remember acronyms. One of them looked at the cost of COVID, right? The cost of furlough, the cost of the lockdown, like everything. And the cost of Brexit. And they published their findings and they were like, yeah, Brexit is going to cost twice the amount of COVID. Like fucking double. And that's just like, as it is. That's just Brexit, like off the shelf. That's not taking into account that it's an ongoing thing that might last forever. So can we just leave this idea that this is to pay for furlough and lockdown to the side, please? And also on that, I think this has been said before, right, by people who are, you know, significantly more on the ball than I, dear listeners. But if this is just the cost of furlough, right, and lockdown, if COVID is why we're being hit with tax hikes and slashing public services, if it's all just about furlough and COVID, how come the other countries who also locked down, who also had furlough schemes, aren't being hit with the same package of measures? How have they swerved this? They are some sneaky countries, aren't they? Like if you look at just one of the graphs that's floating around in the wilds of Twitter, just one of them, you can see the return to growth from the other European countries. Like regardless of furlough and lockdown and government schemes and, you know, stimulation checks or whatever it was, they all get back to growth. And then on the same graph, then there's Britain, which sinks way into the red. I mean, what could possibly be different about Britain compared to these other European countries? What could be different there? I just don't get. I mean, that is a real head scratcher. I don't know, man. I saw Dan Hodges on Twitter this morning. God love him. God love Dan Hodges. The Mail on Sundays, Daniel Hodges, tweeting this morning, saying it was outrageous to try and offer a verdict on Brexit this early. That was his tweet this morning. It was outrageous to try and offer a verdict on, you know, whether Brexit is a success or a failure this early, which, you know, look, I mean, I don't want to get too graphic on here, listeners, viewers, subscribers, and so on. But that was a startling comment to read first thing on a Saturday morning. It's too early to give a verdict on whether Brexit is successful or not. Well done, Daniel. That was a startling comment. Honestly, it takes a lot to jar me these days. But I mean, that shit made me spit out my sewage contaminated water first thing today. It really did. I mean, I just don't fucking get it. I don't see how we could be this far down the line and people are like, well, I just don't know. You know, I mean, listen, hold your horses. Jury's out. Like, it's the same people who want to wait and see who were coincidentally very much against waiting and seeing when it was coming to like Brexit negotiations and a bit of measured thought and a bit of, hold on, let's just maybe take this at a careful step. No, we have to get it done immediately, no matter the cost. Just bulldoze that fucking thing through. No debate. Fucking prorogue parliament. Just smash it in. Those same people who were that impatient then now are like, all right, just calm yourself, calm your farm aid. It's too early to announce any sort of verdict on this. Come on, what's the hurry? I don't know, man. I imagine Dan Hodges, right, sitting in a cafe, maybe overlooks a harbour. And as dear Daniel Hodges is sat in this cafe, tapping on his MacBook that would have cost him $1,000, 4 years ago, but now through the tanking of the pound and the higher cost of import-export, now it's cost him double that. And, he's sat there tapping away on it, but he's struggling to get his coffee in this cafe. Because the cafe can't find any fucking staff. In fact, the cafe is going to shut soon. Because energy bills weren't capped in the same way here as they were in some parts of Europe. Plus, they can't function properly because their stock keeps getting caught up in the red tape that they promised to cut but actually increased. But as he sat in this about to close, industrially decimated cafe on his overpriced MacBook, overlooking the harbour that laps literal shit and piss at the shore, he looks out of the window, reaches down to his bag, maybe pulls out an apple, which is rotten as soon as he's bought it. He puts it back in his bag, and then he goes to take a call from his niece, who has a job in financial services, but she's sobbing in tears because her job has just been reassigned, reallocated to the Munich office. And after all of that, in this cafe, after hanging up, putting his apple back down, he stands up and he looks out the window over this pissy harbour of shit-poisoned dead fish, and he whispers to himself, yes, too early to say. Right, that's it, guys. That's enough of a rant, isn't it? Let's quickly go through some TikTok comments, shall we? Here we go. I'm scrolling right up to the top. Somebody says V for Vendetta was set in 2022. Some idiot in power is using it as a blueprint. Yes, I agree. Workshop Craft. Professor Bollo says, are you from Hertfordshire? No, I'm not. I'm from Berkshire originally, if that's of any interest at all. Who else have we got? John Left of the Countryside is on there. What's up, John? How you doing? Sent you a DM. You ignored it. You motherfucker. Get back to me. What else have we got? I've lost connection on TikTok. Oh, my God. RD says, hiya, how's you? Yes, hello, how's it going? What do you think of the housing market? Do you think it's going to crash? I think absolutely it's going to crash. Almost a 100% likelihood of that right now. I don't see how it's possible for people to savage the mortgage market in the way that they have. Like they're living in a sort of Bank of England dream world at the moment, where inflation that's being brought about almost directly from energy costs. Like when they talk about 11% inflation, that is yielded almost entirely from energy, because gas and electric cost so much that they're having to pass on those prices on everything else. So food, petrol, like to keep the barber shop open, everything is getting more expensive. And so when they talk about 11.1% inflation, it's like, well, yeah, because you didn't fucking cap the energy, you dickhead. But when the Bank of England hear that inflation is super high, I don't know what other option they have other than raising interest rates, because look, without going into it too deeply, that's basically their like go-to trip switch solution to this is like, well, inflation's still up, better raise the interest rates again. But the problem with that is that you're making it like it's already a difficult housing market for people to get on the ladder. Now you're making mortgages even more expensive, which means how many first-time buyers thought they were going to get on the ladder this year, and now they've gone back to the bank to go like, yeah, can we renew our mortgage offer? And the bank are going to go, yeah, I know we said that you could afford it 6 months ago, but actually you need to get the fuck out of here now. So yes, I think the housing market is almost a dead cert to go under. Let's see, who else we got? Do I support the indie ref in Scotland? Yeah, I do. I hate to sound like a sort of cuddly lefty cliche here, and I know that a lot of people, centre left and far left, are very supportive of Scotland having the right to choose its own political destiny and all that. I just don't see the value. I almost feel like it's too detrimental for English government or English MPs to continue to stand in the way of that. And there's a lot of people who will say, well, they already had a referendum and they voted to stay. But to my mind, that referendum, in fact, I'm pretty sure like a core part of it, a core component of that referendum was that England or the UK, inclusive of Scotland, would continue to be a part of the European Union. And now that that has changed, I kind of think England, Wales, the UK, however you want to frame it, we kind of owe them another vote on that. But I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I'm an expert on all things Scottish politics. So is this a podcast recording or a live chat? It is both. It's incredibly confusing, I know. Hugh says, hello, handsome. Yeah, I'll fucking take that. What else have we got? TikTok is telling me some comments were filtered to protect the community's experience. Shame it hasn't filtered some of the content that I'm spewing out, because I fear that that could have protected the community's experience also. Let me quickly flip over to YouTube. Oh my lord, there's actually some comments tonight. Alex says, hi, listen to you daily. Labour member, thanks very much, mate. Edward made it to the right place. Hey Kerry, what's going on? John has made it onto the YouTube also. Hey mate. John says, don't fret, the rental market will collapse too. Oh, I agree. I think the problem with the housing market as is that, so right now the journo-political class talk endlessly about mortgages, and the reason they do that is because a lot of them are homeowners and even buy-to-let landlords. But this is a problem that starts at the mortgage layer and will bleed out into the rental sector as well. So anyone that's listening to this or watching this or whatever and saying to themselves, well, it's hitting mortgages, but I don't have a mortgage, so lucky me. I guess I can just, rest easy until this shit blows over. Nuh-uh. What's going to happen is your buy-to-let landlord is going to see the increase in the mortgage rates. Their mortgage on your flat is going to go from £700 a month to £1,500 a month or some shit. And that's just if it stays at the rate it is now. Like, the inflation rate went up again on Thursday to 11.1%, and the Bank of England haven't responded to that yet. I would not put it past them that they say in the next week or two, regrettably, we're going to have to raise interest rates again. So this has the potential to completely envelope the housing, like, buyers and rental sector. Let's continue down the comments, the YouTube live chat. Pingu says, just noticed you've got Twitter auth on the Funk 27 site. That's optimistic. Yeah, do you know what? It's quite embarrassing, right? So they call it user authentication in the tech world. And I put user authentication onto Funk 27 so that people could sign up, and then I could put, comment sections in there, and you could tick yes if you wanted to be part of a newsletter, and I could send out like most websites do. I could send you out a news thing once a week that would have like my 2 best TikToks, my 2 best tweets, the Sunday blog, and then a link to the podcast. Like, so you have it all in one. But the only one I could get working was fucking Twitter. I tried doing like the login with Facebook, login with this, login with Google. All of them failed for me because I'm just either I don't have the patience, or or maybe I was too hammered at the time. I do most of my coding when I'm a bit pissed. So wait, maybe I should clarify. Most of my side project coding when I'm a bit pissed. I'm not fucking drinking in the office. This isn't Mad Men. Right, let's crack on. I'll do a few more, and then we'll wrap up. So, you had a beer festival a few years ago, which I enjoyed. It says Potato Cabbage. That is a fantastic name. Props to you. Alex says it's getting better-ish now. Looking forward to Labour taking over. Yes, agree. I hope. I mean, my fear with Labour is that, A, they will win too big a landslide, and they won't then feel this pressure to behave in a sort of quote-unquote Labour way. Like, they won't, they'll just rest on their laurels. Like, it'll be too comfortable for them. So I'm worried about that. I'm also worried that when they come in, the situation, the political situation, economic, fiscal, health, education will be so fucking shit that it will be the best that they can do to just about get it back on the straight and narrow. And then by the time it gets to the 2028 or 2029 election, people will be like, well, I voted Labour. I gave Labour a chance, but they didn't live up to all of my fantasy expectations. Because there is a higher expectation on the left. It's like if you run a left-leaning party, you're all cuddly and fluffy and liberal and equality and perfect public services and all of that shit. And then when you don't come through, people are like, nah, I tried to give them a chance, but they're a bit disappointing. I might as well go back to the sociopaths. Like, you know what I mean? So, let's continue. We'll do a few more. Somebody said, have I been... Edward Ross says, have I been recognised yet while you are out doing your walking videos? Do you know what? I have been recognised a couple of times, right? One time, I was in a car park of a gym that I am no longer a member of because hashtag cost of living. And I was putting my kids in the car and I was getting really stressed with them. I was just like, look, can you just sit still? Can you just put your... like trying, like taking every like thread of my character to not drop the F-bomb at my kids. Just fucking sit there, you little shit. Like, I'm just like, can you just sit still? Like, I'm trying to plug him in, and then I've got my daughter, and I'm like trying to sit her in. She was a lot younger, so I think I was trying to keep her head up and all that stuff. Just stressed to fuck. And then this woman like walks over to the car, and I thought she was about to bollock me for my shitty parking, because I'm a shitty parker apparently. And she walks over, and I thought, like, you know when you've got your internal monologue going? And I thought she was about to say, like, and I said to myself in my head, I was like, oh God, here it comes. Fucking hell, here it comes. Like, I was already in a bad mood, terrible. And then she goes, hi, yeah, no, I just wanted to say, I watch your TikToks, and yeah, I love them. I love your rants. Like, keep it up, good work. And I was like, oh, I was really expecting a bollocking for my terrible parking then, but thanks. That will get me through the week. Thank you so much. And I've always sort of clung on to that thing. Like, it's happened a couple of other times here and there, not much, but it's happened here and there, and I've always clung on to that example because I think it's a perfect example of like poor mental health, because it's like my go-to, like my instinct is that if somebody's approaching me, it's because I've fucked up, because I've done something wrong, because I've upset someone, I'm in trouble. It's like that. That is my go-to thing. And then when somebody walks up and then goes, oh, I really liked your TikTok, it's like, oh, okay. This is all right. Okay, I'm not used to this. This is nice. Anyway, guys, thank you so much to everyone that's been on the live chat, and indeed on the live TikTok, which my phone eventually did die, unfortunately. But yeah, thank you so much for jumping on tonight. It's been my first time doing a TikTok live at the same time as a YouTube live stream, so I don't know, I might continue doing it. Seemed pretty fun. There'll be a new episode of the podcast out next Wednesday, another solo one. I've got a few guests lined up. I'm pretty excited about one, actually. I don't know how you guys are going to feel about him, because obviously I talk about left-leaning politics quite a bit. And this guy, he's not really a lefty. Shall I just drop it now? His name is Dapper Laughs. Do you guys remember Dapper Laughs? He got into a lot of trouble a few years ago because he was on stage and he said something very, very unfortunate on stage, and then the tabloids went fucking in on him. But since then, he's sort of, he's turned his shit around. He's got married. He's got kids. He's doing a lot of stuff about men's mental health. He's got a couple of movies out. He's doing really, really well. And I know him from way back in the day, from like the comedy circuit. And I just thought it'd be really interesting to catch up with him and hear his sort of take on, like, we can talk about men's mental health and so on. But I also want to get his take on like what modern comedy is like from his perspective, what making online content is like, because he does a lot of that shit. Like, he's still massive on like Instagram and Snapchat and Twitter. And so anyway, I'm really psyched to be catching up with him. That's going to come up in a couple of weeks. I've also got a couple more familiar faces who are going to come back on. So that's pretty cool. Excited about seeing them again. And yeah, that's all I've got for you. Until next time, take it easy, take care of yourselves, and we outie.